last section here. We have 7-2. Depending on how you approach this, you either bought boomerangs or you bought Mach Speed in the previous section. It's up to you. Whatever floats your boat. In this case, I already bought them, so we're going to move on. And typically, there's no saving, there's no other power-ups to buy. You're good to go. I mean, this is it. This is the game. So let's keep trucking. Move on. So this section's tricky. On kids mode, it's actually not too bad. On adults or higher, it could be kind of a nightmare trying to do this. How these platforms work: when you hold Mach Speed on the platform, it actually accelerates, but it eventually hits a top speed. But holding Mach Speed will actually hit that top speed, and it'll hold it at that top speed. If you tap it, it's not going to be any good to you. So you're actually going to want to let your VFX charge up as much as you can, and then hold Mach for a smoother ride. The key thing here, though, is I would like to get my hands on the infinite juice here. Now, there's infinite juice. There's a whole line of metal Leos that you'll see along, and about 3/4 of the way, I'm going to dodge an enemy intentionally, and I'm going to Mach Speed him to knock out the boxes in the back. One of those boxes has that infinite juice, and that's what I need to kind of really push through this section quickly. You don't need it. You can get through it without it, but I highly recommend it, and you'll see why. So let's dive into it. We're going to dive in this position. Dodge. And there's the juice, as you saw there. Hopefully you saw that. Like I said, around 3/4 of the way through those metal Leos, that infinite juice will pop out after Mach Speeding them, and that's a good use for Mach 3 right there. Those images, the more images you have, they'll fly to the back. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take out the rest of these enemies, and we're going to have to deal with 2 Gelby. Alright? Now, the 2 Gelby. One of them is going to appear on the far right-hand side of the platform, and one of them is going to appear about 60% of the platform over from, like, say you're looking at the left, and 60% of that distance they're going to be over there. So about, we'll just say midway. So midway and end. That'll be easier. The way I handle these guys, you can red hot kick them, you can hit them from behind, whatever the case is. What I typically do is I get over as soon as possible, and before they even land, I pull out a kick and buffer a shocking pink. So I'm going to fast fuse them. And the key thing is, though, the platform is moving to the right-hand side. Your explosion is going to be a static hitbox. So what you want to do is make sure you are facing the right-hand side when you actually pull out a shocking pink. If you're not, the explosion will only take out the Gelby on the left. So let's see if we can do it here. Okay, so because I wasn't fast enough, as you saw there, and because I'm pausing between these sections, the Gelby on the left was able to move a little bit further away, and he was able to survive that last hit. That's not a big deal, because what we can do now is take him down from behind. Now, after taking out the 2 Gelby, there's going to be 2 Rosettas, and they're going to appear in about the same position as the Gelby. And they can be a little annoying to deal with. Sometimes they like to switch places, they like to dance around a little bit, flip you off, whatever the case is. We're just going to deal with them like we would normally. Like that. So, I got some shenanigans there. That's okay. Okay. After you take out the 2 Rosettas, you're going to deal with 3 Cromarties. One of them has a heat-seeking missile. The one in the middle actually has a large bullet. And the one on the far right-hand side is just a standard ninja, so punching and kicking. Okay? And we're good to go. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to stand right about here, take this position into account, use a visual cue again, all about the visual cues, as you've noticed hopefully by now. We're going to stand pretty much right at the end of the second platform you see there, the second rectangle. And what that'll do is it'll put me in position to take down Joker when he drops down, because Joker's going to drop down in the middle of a laser, which is a little annoying. So I'm going to position myself here immediately and crouch so I don't get hit by fire either. And because I have the infinite VFX, I can hold Mach Speed and hit the top speed for this platform. Like so. Now Joker's tricky. If you let Joker land on the ground, he has invincibility frames out the butt. Like he'll run away from you, he'll roll away from you, he'll do everything he can to stay away from you. It's a nightmare. You have to be punching before he lands on the ground. You have to take him down. There's two ways to do this. The more recent one was you jump up in the air, meet him in the air as he spawns, and start punching immediately. The safer method is to just stand on the ground and start punching, and you'll eventually connect with him. The bottom line is, don't let him touch the ground. It's a nightmare if he does. So let's see what happens. Here's the safe method. Oof. So in that case, I got lucky. And notice, because I started punching right away, and I was a little bit too far over to the left-hand side, I got forced into a slow dodge for that laser, and he was able to land. I got very lucky. That doesn't happen very often. He usually will just roll away from you and make your life a nightmare. But if you do that positioning, you pull back just a little bit to what I did, you should be okay. You can take him down pretty easily. Punch him till he's done. You'll pick up the slots. You'll be good to go. Now, for these slots, these are the unique slots in the game. Instead of using slow to deal with them, you use Mach Speed. I usually stand down here because I'm stubborn, and that's how I roll. You could stand up here as well, so you can actually get a better view of them. The only thing I didn't like about doing this was that I had no control. I'd have to like move over and then hit it and drop down and then move back and blah, blah, blah. You got to reposition yourself over and over again. But this spot's good though, so you can just do that, pick up the key, and you're done. So, now for the ships. The ships are interesting. The timing for this, admittedly, I do not have down quite yet. I can't get it consistent every single time, I should say. But how we're going to deal with the ships, if you recall from the AGDQ run, I stood in a very specific position. Note, this trick does not work on Ultra V-rated. It works on kids, and it works on adults, but Ultra it doesn't work. Because you have to deal with Metal Leos that stalk you, and they absorb all your images that you would use to take down the ships in the background. This section is the reason why you bought Mach Speed level 3, okay? So let's go to this position. So we're going to go over here, here, so second column, okay? We're going to pull out a bomb, and we're going to start Mach Speeding it. Now notice immediately all my images started destroying the ship on the right-hand side and the back, and it destroyed most of the ship on the left-hand side, okay? Based on the damage, you could tell how much the left ship has been damaged by just the smoke coming off of it. If you see like the last quarter of the ship that's still in good shape, you're going to have to hit slow on this missile that you're going to convert over, okay? Like that. So, right now, it's a little difficult to see because I'm paused. There we go. See how the ship is lined up right now? That ship has about 60 to 70% damage done on it. So if I let that missile hit it and I don't hit slow, it's going to survive. Which means I'll waste more time trying to pull up another missile to hit it. What we're going to do is we're going to hold slow very briefly, and we're going to take out the ship in one fell swoop, okay? And look, I even got hit, not a big deal. We pull out another bomb, and we do it again. Now notice this time, you look at the ship, and you see the smoke coming out on the far left-hand side. Now your missile will take down that ship in one shot, and you don't have to hit slow. Like so. And we'll do the same thing. And we're just going to take the ships down slowly but surely. Okay. So now you took out 7 out of the 9 ships. There's 2 ships left. There is a large red ship, and then there's a more miniaturized blue ship. The red ship is tricky because you can't take it down with your images alone. You do have to use missiles. Depending on where the missile goes, you'll be able to determine if you can take out the red ship in one shot. So let's see what I get here. Okay. So in this case, that missile that went off to the right-hand side, I did about 80% damage to it. So that missile's going to hit him on the right. I'm going to continue Mach speeding a bomb, and then the last missile will always hit the ship on the far left-hand side, and that's a finisher. So instead of Mach speeding the bomb, I'm going to save myself a little time and a little risk by avoiding the animation of the bomb. I'm just going to jump up in the air and kick the missile into the last, ship here. So, okay, like so. And it's done. There you go. And then for the last ship, the last big blue ship, all you have to do, throw a bomb down, Mach speed, it goes down. You don't need the missiles, your images are enough to take them down. Like so. And we're done. Okay, so the second platform. The second platform here, we got to fight 3 Metal Leos. So the strategies for fighting the Metal Leos are going to be the same. Red Hot Kick, and then 3 Red Hot 100s. Now, one thing I'm going to note, the Metal Leos that come out on these platforms, they don't actually have the blue flame on their head, okay? If you take out their shield, and they don't have a flame on their head, what they'll actually end up doing, they'll fire this massive blue fireball at you that you cannot slow dodge it. You will get hit. If they do have the blue flame on their head, they'll actually do the ballerina spin like Fire Leo does typically. Ideally, you want to try to get the flame on their head. So what I do is, if I'm playing on adults or Ultra V rated, I lure them under the pillars of flames, and that'll light their head up, and that way I get the ballerina spin. So it's ideal for me because it's... I don't like dealing with that monster fireball because it comes out so suddenly sometimes. But let's see what happens. So holding Mach speed down when I can. 1, 2, 3. If you crouch, you can avoid the flames. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're about halfway at this point. 1, 2, 3. We're going to pick up the key and wait for my VFX to charge, and we're off. And we're done. And that's how you do that section. There really isn't much to it. It's pretty straightforward. So, moving on. The tower. So there's 4 levels to the tower here. The first part is going to have 8 enemies in it. There's going to be 2 of the beefed up football/astronaut guys and a Bianco Billy. We're going to go all the way to the right-hand side, take out the Bianco Billy, and then zoom punch the 2 astronaut buffed up soldier guys, okay? There is a time limit too. By the way, with that time limit, you won't actually die, but you'll start to take damage over time. So it's poisonous gas. You'll just choke to death, essentially. So let's take out this Billy. 1, 2. Take out these guys. 1. Okay. 5 guys left. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump up to the platform on the far right-hand side, and then I'll draw out the spawn for 2 of the football players, or astronauts, whatever. You have to stand in a pretty specific spot. If you're not in a specific spot, the guys will either drop down immediately, or one of them will drop down, whatever the case is. If you're standing about right in the center of the platform, they shouldn't drop, and you should be able to take out both of them in one shot. So I'll show you what happens here. So here are the 2 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I did it right there. I nailed the positioning. That's something you're going to have to be experienced on your own, I think. But once you have that position down, they go down in nothing flat. After you take these 2 guys out, we're going to hold zoom in, and we're going to do a double jump over to the left-hand side, and a Bianco Billy will spawn. Like so. We'll take him out, move a little bit farther over to the left, and 2 Rosettas will come in. No thank you. And you're done. Okay. For this next section, we have to deal with 6 Cromarties and 2 Black Soldiers. So we're going to go over here. And we're going to stand about, I don't know, halfway on that platform. And the first 3 Cromarties will come out. So we're going to take them down first. So, 1, 2. Hyper Armor, 1, 2. Remember, too, if they throw their first punch, if they're waiting to throw their first punch, it has hyper armor on it. You're not going to do any damage, even on kids mode. You won't do much of anything to them, and they'll just absorb the hit. Anyway. 1, 2. Okay. 3 Cromarties down. Now what we're going to do, there's 2 platforms that you see here. There's one you can see immediately above me, and then there's one on the far right-hand side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the area, into that gas, the poisonous gas. Don't stand there too long or you'll get hurt, by the way. We're going to jump into that area and quickly jump out. That'll spawn the other 3 Cromarties for this section. And then we're going to jump to the very top platform and spawn the 2 black soldiers, okay? So now you see the Cromartie on the left, and you see the black soldier dropping right now. Now, depending on which side the black soldier's on, you'll have to react differently. But with how black soldiers work in this game, you can either fight them head-on, you could dodge their sword and try to pull them in the rock-on mode, or what I typically do is, if you do a normal uppercut on them, so you launch them, if you launch them and then follow up with Red Hot 100, you can force them into a dizzy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to force them in the Red Hot 100, or uppercut, Red Hot 100, force them into a dizzy for rock-on mode, and then I'm going to take out the other black soldier with a zoom Red Hot kick. And then if I have the time, I'll use it to take out the other Cromartie as well, and then we'll take out the 2 Cromarties that are hidden on the bottom of the screen. Okay? So uppercut, dizzy, Red Hot 100 for rock-on mode, take out this other guy. Good. And the 2 Cromarties on the bottom. And we're done. And there you go. So there's section 2. Now, for this third section, okay? What we're going to do for this third section, this is tricky. This also requires a bit of knowledge around the spawns here. The moment I jump up to the center, I'm going to do 2 large double jumps. And I'm going to actually pull out both Gelby in the beginning. So there's going to be 2 yellow Gelby that are going to show up right between the pillar of flames. As soon as they spawn, I'm going to drop down. Okay? So 2 large jumps, drop. Now the Gelby have spawned. Now, what can happen here, there's 2 things that can happen. Either the guy on the left drops first or the guy on the right drops first. I prefer the guy on the left. And what we're going to try to do is fast fuse them. Okay? This requires some precise movement. This part was a little tricky to figure out the first time, but once you have it down, it's not too bad. But we'll see what happens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for that guy to drop on the left-hand side. Hopefully, the moment I see his body on the left side, I'm going to start buffering a bomb, and immediately after he drops, I'm going to hit him with fast fuse. And then, hopefully, as he's getting hit, the other guy will drop down right into the explosion, and it should finish him off. So let's see what happens. Move over just a bit. And there you go. That's how you do it. You got to move over just a little bit to the left, too. Because if you don't, the Gelby on the right-hand side will actually push you over with his body, which is no good. So, alright, so 2 down, 2 to go. The second spawn of Gelby is going to be right on top of this pillar. So we're going to jump on here. We're going to drop down right to the center. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pull out a bomb, normal animation here. We're going to wait till the guy on the far left drops down. How this normally should work if you position yourself correctly, they'll have 1 guy drop on the far left, and then 1 guy drop immediately above you on the left-hand platform. And you can take him out with a normal bomb, so I'll show you. So a little bit over there, not a big deal. And we're going to push him right into the explosion. There you go. Remember, you can run into enemies in this game without taking damage, and I do that all the time. I will push them into explosions if I have to, and it works. It's just as effective. Okay. And then for the fourth section, we're going to jump up here, and then the platform directly above me is going to have the 2 Metal Leo spawns. So what I typically do is I spawn them and I go automatically to the right, and I just start attacking them. Attacking them correctly. we're done. And there's 7-2. There you go. So now we have King Blue, and we have Captain Blue. There are two ways to do this fight, and I'll show you both. I'm going to show you the original way, the safe way, the non-fast boomerang way, and I'll show you the fast boomerang way. So we got to get some boomerangs here. I need to be able to show you. You shouldn't need boomerangs at this point. You should be okay. But just to make sure I have enough to show you guys what's going on, I'll buy them. So, let's do the non-boomerang way first. Non-fast boomerang way. King Blue's tricky. If you let him get away, it could fall apart pretty quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit him 14 times, okay? So we're going to wait till he comes to the foreground, or wait till he comes to the same plane as we're in. Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now, the reason I do 14 hits, after 16 hits, he's going to get his lightning shield back. If you have 15 hits, there's no reason to, because your boomerang should be able to do enough damage to him. It's just a waste of time. So what we're going to do is after that 14th hit, we're going to fall down, we're going to pull out a boomerang, and we're just going to start throwing boomerangs at him. But we're not going to face him, because the boomerang will arc back and then hit him in the face. Like so. And if you don't really have to be quick, you should be able to hit him regardless. And you just do this over and over again until he dies. Now, that is the old method. Let's do the new method. By the way, to stop that lightning, you can Mach Speed that. Take a hit here. Say bye-bye. Any day now. Now, the second way to do this fight. The second way to do this fight is it's a little bit more execution heavy. Now, instead of punching him 14 times, we're going to start assaulting him with boomerangs the moment he enters the same plane as we're in, okay? And this is what I did during the AGDQ run. This requires an understanding of how to do fast boomerangs, and you got to be able to do it while jumping over and over again. So we're going to do an infinite cycle of it, essentially, until he goes down. So, wait for it. Now. Over and over and over. You got to make sure your positioning's correct there, or you won't do a lot of damage. And there's King Blue. Okay. Now, Captain Blue. The last fight in the game, young Captain Blue. We'll do two methods here. We'll do the speedrunning method, and I'll show you how to handle them on higher difficulties too. And just remember, of course, gotta love it. So, the moment this fight starts, you're gonna rush up to him. You're gonna knock out a shield, and you're gonna do two Red Hot 100 punches. Okay. After two punches, he'll teleport to your left. You're gonna pull out a boomerang, and you're gonna throw it at him. All right. So in that case, he got away from me. That also happens. So still same deal. You just adjust for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, normally you can land 11 punches. In this case, because I was a little bit slow on the first attack, I was only able to land 10. So what's going to end up happening is I knocked out his shield. He's going to do an attack in midair. I'm going to Mach Speed to the left of him and throw another boomerang at him. But I'm going to wait until he has his shield back before I throw the boomerang. If I throw it too early, what'll end up happening is it'll knock him down, and I won't be able to cycle him with 10 or 11 hits. So let's see what happens. Okay. If he's too close to you and the boomerang circles back, the boomerang will actually hit him in the face, and he'll teleport out of the way like you just saw there. And theoretically, you could finish him off, you know, beforehand, but we're not going to finish him off, so. Unfortunately, Captain Blue's not cooperating as much as I had hoped, but it's okay. Lightning does 2 damage, and normal punching and kicking does 1. If you want to knock him out in Mach Speed, just punch him once, and that'll stop him. So. Do it one more time here. Let's see if we can do this fight correctly. From the beginning, from the top.
Ready? Action.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, knocked him down, not a big deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that would be a game ender. Right there. Okay? We're not going to do that, though. I'm going to show you how to do a another loop on him. So that's the kids mode. That's the kids mode way of taking Captain Blue down, essentially. Yeah, I'm not the only one with Mach Speed, baby. Alright, let's finish this. Come on. Kill me! Kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me. Ow. Come on. By the way, that lightning does 8 damage. So, you know, no pressure. Now, let's say you're playing on adults or ultra V-rated or V-rated, whatever the case is. There's another trick you can do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw a boomerang at him, okay? And what'll end up happening is after I throw the boomerang, I'm going to punch him 6 times, and I'm going to let him recharge his shield. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He'll turn around. Okay, not a big deal. Punch, red hot kick. So you knock out his shield, and you do a normal red hot kick against him, okay? That's going to be a hard knockdown for Captain Blue. He's going to, as he's getting up, his shield's going to come back, throw another boomerang at him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. And you can loop him with that on adults or ultra V-rated. It's just as effective. And that, everybody, is Viewtiful Joe. So, there you have it. There is your walkthrough. So, there's a lot more to this game to touch on, but for now, that's the kids mode run for this, and yeah, hopefully you guys learned something from it. Learned my extensive amount of useless knowledge in my life that I've gotten from this game.